I'm Garrett Morris and my man Kevin Garnier, the producers of the show. Go ahead, bro. Just want to throw that in there.
Hey, this is Jeffrey Peterson. I'm here at the Downtown Comedy Club, and we are here for the Cannabis Comedy Festival. Sitting here with Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live, original primetime player.
That's right, one of the original members. Yeah, that means I'm old.
This is what I was going to mention to you, man. We're down here at the Cannabis Comedy Festival, and how do you feel about medical cannabis and patients?
I think it's absolutely the right thing to have marijuana legalized. I don't understand why it was ever made illegal. I mean, they made it illegal. Why? Because a whole lot of people had made a whole lot of bad stories about it and say that black guys were going to rape white women during the 20s. After that campaign, J. Edgar Hoover had got a guy named Harry Anslinger to make a movement made Reefer Madness, right? And that made a whole lot of lies out there about marijuana. But you know what? In 1942, Fiorello LaGuardia hooked up a whole research team which came back and refuted that, right? He got lambasted for it. What I'm saying is, throughout the whole history of this lie that the Federal Drug Administration has been hooking up, the real truth has been that they have always known that marijuana. Look, I'm going to ask you a question. Marijuana has never caused a death, right? Ever. And nobody's ever died from smoking a joint. People die from cigarettes every year, about 400,000, right? And people die from alcohol every year, about 300,000. That's legal. Nobody goes to jail. I want to ask the question, why is it that death by a drug is not the #1 reason why it gets to be made illegal, right? I mean, it seems to me that if marijuana is going to send you to jail for using it and it don't cause death, how then do we allow cigarettes and alcohol, and by that same token, Vioxx, Celebrex? For that matter, way back there, they legalized thalidomide, which caused a whole 5 or 6 generation of people who were deformed. This FDA has made legal a whole lot of stuff that kills, and throughout the whole history of its reign, it has never admitted that it is a total lie that marijuana is illegal. Ladies and gentlemen, if it doesn't kill anybody, why is it illegal? Thank you very much.
What a great statement. I mean, it's a conspiracy, for sure.
Hey, for sure. I mean, look, you know what? You don't know this. In the 60s, you know that P.L.R. bought some of its some marijuana farms, right? Because they thought in the 60s it was going to be legalized. Because then Martin Luther King got killed, all that right-wing thing came in, and they started turning stuff back. I mean, we were headed towards at least being #2 to Amsterdam and Norway and places like that. Now we're #2 to, like, name any medieval place where people have just medieval thoughts about drugs, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I don't understand this. These people, and this is not, look, the hypocrisy comes not only from Congress, it comes from the police department, as well as from religious organizations, because they too know that in countries where it's legal, not only is it used for medical problems, let me get through that, medical problems, but it's also brought down crime, because if you ain't arresting nobody for it, ain't no crime hooked up to it, right? So all I'm saying is, it's just like with prostitution. They know that where prostitution is legal, that at least 30% less venereal disease. Why? Because all those husbands are going, here in America, they go to those hookers, and they get venereal disease because it's illegal. In places where it's legal, you check the bitches out every week or every month. And as a matter of fact, in Amsterdam, in places where prostitution is legal, you know what the lowest rate of venereal disease is? Among the prostitutes. Okay? They have a lower rate of venereal disease than the nuns, all right? Because every week, every month, they're being checked. Same thing. If you want to apply the same mentality to drugs, and you know, I'm not saying you shouldn't warn about marijuana. For instance, there's an ad right now about marijuana where they have the guy just sleeping and, oh, that's all you do with marijuana. They don't say it cures glaucoma. They don't say it's used for at least 5 or 10 or 20 other. You know, they don't say that the medical profession has actually begged the Supreme Court to legalize it. They don't say that one of its own advisors, Judge Francis Young, told them to take it from a felony to from a Class A felony to a misdemeanor. They don't say none of that. They say simply that it's wrong. Mind you, when you see an alcohol commercial, all they do to warn you is at the end they say, please drink responsibly. They don't say that every week every week. There is a DUI every other hour. That 10 or 12 or 14 or 15 people die every day from alcohol, and that at the end of the year you got 350,000 people who die violently from alcohol. They never put that on. And they never put on that marijuana helps with glaucoma. Matter of fact, it's one of the best things because it dries up the... it doesn't stop. It simply arrests it. Matter of fact, you know what? In North Carolina about 30 years ago, there was a guy. When they first started figuring out that marijuana could hook up glaucoma, this guy was going to a doctor in North Carolina to hook his shit up, right? So, excuse me, I know you bleeped that out. And the sheriff found out about it, kept putting him in jail. And the guy said, look, man, I'm going blind, I'm going blind. The sheriff finally said, hey, the next time we put you, just 3 times, we put you in jail the next time for the rest, for like 25 years. So 3 strikes thing. This guy had to move to Sweden. Right? I mean, this is the way we think. I mean, it's amazing because, in my opinion, there's a lot of problems we have with taxes, with needing more money. The amount of taxes that people in Amsterdam and in Denmark and places like that get from marijuana is astronomical. And when you deal with the fact that we're putting billions in Iraq, you know, we don't have any money to hook up a Katrina, we have no money for our infrastructure, hey, that we should be trying to get the money from every place we can, including the same way we have legalized alcohol after 10 years of prohibition, we should have legalized marijuana as well after 10 years, and we would be getting all kinds of taxes, all kinds of... I'm speechless a lot of time when I think of the money that can be made from simply not being a hypocrite about marijuana. Not only that, but at least 250,000, 300,000 black men would be out of jail.
Wow, I'm really impressed with your knowledge on the subject and
well,
and your passion. I mean, I'm serious. And in addition to that, tonight is a benefit for Americans for safe access.
It sure is. And I have my prescription. Yes, I would probably be smoking it anyway.
Yep.
But believe me, I got a bullet in my spine about 14 years ago. A bullet would almost left me a quadriplegic. So although, yes, I would be smoking it illegally anyway, it does help me a whole lot. So there's a lot of things that people don't realize. If you were to have marijuana free to be sold, a whole lot of pharmaceutical drugs would not be sold anymore. Because for insomnia, for certain respiratory diseases, for a whole lot of things, marijuana is the least destructive yet effective thing. All these other things, Vicodin, all those other things, those things have deaths occurring every year, even aspirin. Did you know that? Aspirin every year has about 2,000 or 3,000 people who die because they don't know. Your kid's been taking aspirin until he's 14 or 15. When his metabolism changes in puberty, a lot of people don't know. That means he might have an allergic reaction. But there's nobody, let me repeat, who's ever died from simply smoking a joint. You can smoke a joint, sit down, and you might go to sleep and miss the program, right? But if you smoke a cigarette, ladies and gentlemen, for 2 or 3 weeks, for that matter, I know a guy, Andy Kaufman, never smoked a cigarette in his life. All he did was inhale secondhand smoke from the nightclubs he worked in. That's how dangerous. He got lung cancer from that. Nobody's ever said that about marijuana. As a matter of fact, they even say that it helps in respiratory disease. Chemotherapy is the best thing for the nausea and the malaise that follows it. I mean, what are we talking about?
Hey, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for talking to me. I'm Jeffrey Peterson. Garrett Morris, you're a very knowledgeable man on this subject. I wish you were running for president. That's all I could say.
I love to do